let's do the same thing we just did now with our dwarf character. And I think what I'll do is I'll use the bony rig instead of the beefy rig. It's not a perfect match or anything, but it's a little different than the last one that we did. And if I bring up our reference here and hit play, just like we did in the last one, I want to come up with that one word that to me kind of embodies the personality or the character of this walk. And the word I came up with was proud. The reason I say proud is because, well, he's walking more upright than our last one. And he's moving a little bit quicker, and we'll talk about that too. So basically, if I were to draw on this one, if our last walk was being led with the head, I feel like, it's not super exaggerated here, but I feel like this one is being led with the chest, and that's why I say proud. I think when we actually do our walk cycle, we can exaggerate that further. So the other thing to note here is that the cycle is 20 frames in a 30 frame per second environment. So that's quite a bit shorter than our standard walk at 32, and also quite a bit shorter than the last one we did at 27. Now the reason why this one is so much shorter, why he has to walk faster, is because he's a smaller character in stature than our orc character was. And in the game, he's got to be able to travel the same distance in the same amount of time as the other character. So they all have to travel the same distance in the same amount of time. A bigger character can take less strides to do that than a smaller character. So basically, I would take the same approach I did before, and I would select all of our keys. I'm looking to get these keys moved over to around frame 20. So I would just push that in like so. And then some of the major things that we've done here is we stuck that chest out like we had talked about. Also loosened up his chest in terms of rotation so that his arms kind of swing a little bit more. And then the other major thing that I did is I actually widened his stance. I actually took his feet and brought them out a little bit more. And if we take a look at it next to our standard walk, I think we can see quite a big difference in the personality or character. Further, if we compare this to the beefy rig walk that we did, I think we can see a couple of different ways that we've set up our walk cycles. Both are very different. I won't actually create a walk cycle based on our gnome here, but I will use him to further illustrate what we've been talking about. This guy is smaller than the dwarf, and the cycle is around 12 frames. So that's like almost half of the dwarf. So in other words, he's taking almost 6 strides in the time it takes the orc to make 2 and the dwarf to make 3. So in my mind, his personality is already different simply because of the timing. To me, he appears rushed or nervous or antsy just because he's walking so fast. The key points that I'd like to take away from this study are these. In my mind, we have 3 primary contributing factors that create the personality in our characters. And those 3 factors are timing, the animation itself, and posing. So by timing, I simply mean how fast or slow the character moves, both as a whole, like in our walk cycle, but also as each individual body part is concerned. And by animation, I mean how the body part is moving from point A to point B, or how the character is moving from point A to point B. Is it super deliberate without wasted motion, or is there a lot of waving around and acting like a show-off? And then finally, by posing, I mean things like making our character stick out his chest while he walks, or make him a little more hunched over. One pose makes our character look one way or feel one way, and another pose makes our character feel different. So one last set of illustrations here. We can further hunch over our character, bring his head down, drag his arms, slow the whole timing down, and now he feels maybe depressed or sad. And then there's this one, which I'm not totally sure what's going on, but reminds me a lot of Monty Python's Ministry of Silly Walks. So anyway, all three factors are contributing to what makes our character feel a certain way: the timing, the animation itself, and posing. This thought process or study, as we've done, can be applied to a run cycle or some kind of attack or spell animation. The point being is it's about what we can do to add that personality to our characters and make them different than any other. Thanks for watching.